Hey there. So today we have a Warrior Blade OGX, and what we're going to be doing is we are going to be replacing the sidewalls on it while still maintaining and using this same mesh that we have. So this is some old 15 millimeter Marc mesh. So all we're going to do, since we have some new sidewall string, so we have some Gimalax sidewall string here. These are some String King nylons right here that we utilized for this a little while ago. So I'm just gonna go through here real quick, not touching any of the diamonds, cutting through on the mesh. So that way we can just go ahead and pull these sidewalls out real quick. We're going to use the same bottom string. So we got a little hockey lace right here as a bottom string that's already tipped for us. So we're gonna go ahead and still maintain that. And so I'm just gonna pull up a little bit, nice and quick, comes out, voila. Alrighty, and so now we have our Blade OGX. The sidewall strings are a little bit old and weathered. Our top string is still looking pretty fresh. Have a really nice image symmetry here, still really great tightness. This was strung up a few years ago. So with this Blade OGX, you'll notice that there's not as many sidewall holes rather. So whenever we're stringing this, we're gonna be super particular with where our diamond placement is in relationship to our sidewall holes. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and we'll jump right into this. And like always, we're gonna start off with our little infinity knot. I just might make me some names up. Right here, nice and fat. Same thing on the other one. Sidewalls are long enough to where I'm not gonna get 90% through this and not have enough string left. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm seeing how far down this diamond can pull in relationship to the sidewall hole. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna feed it through this third hole right here underneath the top one, so the fourth hole total. The way that we're gonna do that is we're gonna go from the outside in, wrapping around that diamond. And then we're gonna go back from the outside again of the sidewall, wrapping around it from the inside or from the outside in again, back through the front of the mesh, and then out through it. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do that same thing on the other sidewall. And so there'll be times whenever we have a really good stick to where maybe part of the sidewall rubs against the sidewall string and we have to replace the sidewall. Or we use some mesh and it breaks in to where the diamonds are a little bit lower than what they originally were when we strung it. So it's always good to go back and restring it. So what we're gonna be doing for this next interlock right here, so the way that this was strung up initially, that this had a knot on it that went through and looked just like this. Excuse me. So this had a knot, but what we're gonna do to create even tighter of a channel, we're gonna go from the outside in, from the back of the mesh to the front of the mesh rather, from the outside of the sidewall through the inside of the sidewall, pulling through, from the front of the mesh to the back of the mesh. Basic interlock that you've seen us do a lot on our channel. Doing the same thing on the other side. Pulling up on the strings in between each one, keeping those sidewalls nice and tight. Broken record with the tight sidewalls, y'all. I know it. That's how important it is. Fundamental to good pocket. We're gonna do that exact same thing. Lost y'all there for a second. All right, technical difficulty. We're gonna do that exact same thing now on our next diamond with our next sidewall. So from the back of the mesh through the front of it, from the outside of the sidewall hole, coming through, just like so. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna feed that back through that same diamond. And then we'll pull down super tight. Same thing on the other side. And what this is doing is it's creating the channel of our pocket right here. And this mesh still has life left in it, which is why we are replacing the sidewalls. All right, and so now we come to probably our hardest decision that we've had to make so far in terms of what type of interlock we're gonna do with pulling the mesh either down to the sidewall or if we wanna start to create our pocket. So we can see with our trick of pulling down on our sidewall strings right here, where our pocket starts to form, where the diamonds wanna be in order for the channel to be tight. We are starting to create a nice channel right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get one more of those same basic interlocks going from the back of the mesh to the front again and down from the outside of the sidewall to the inside and then back through like so. Pulling up, tightening, feeding it back through that same diamond. This interlock is a great interlock for creating channels, for really anchoring that sidewall, that diamond rather, all the way into your sidewall. That's probably gonna be the last one that we use for this head, if I had to guess. All right, so let's see what we got so far. Look into our crystal globe, our crystal ball. Here we go. So in order to really get that pocket shape that we're wanting right here, we're gonna go ahead and it looks like we are probably going to work with a rare quadruple. So the Blade OGX is an interesting head to string just because of its shape, because of how many sidewall holes it has. So not a lot of sidewall holes to work with, so we have to be creative with our sidewall pattern. So on our quadruple right here, what that is that's 4 of our singles. So we're gonna go from the front of the mesh through the back of the mesh and under to the next set, front of the mesh through the back of the mesh, that's 2. Again, for the next row of 10 diamonds, that's 3. And then our last one for the quadruple is 4. Now we wanna make sure that you have all of those as the 10th row of diamonds and that you didn't accidentally grab any of the 9s. So we're gonna do it on the other side too. Grabbing 4 of our consecutive 10 rows on the outside of them. And then what we're gonna go ahead and do is going from the outside of the sidewall through the inside, pulling through right here, and then we're gonna get nice and tight. It's not often that you see a quadruple. Pull nice and tight, losing the skin on my fingers. Strung a couple of heads here in the last few days. Got to build up that callus again. All right, so this is what we're working with so far. Looking really good, especially in comparison to what we looked like before, right? So we got really good pocket definition here. We have a nice channel right here. And so we're almost at the end of our sidewalls. So what we're gonna do right here is we're in a position to where we can start to anchor if we want to, or we could put one more 1 in there. I'm gonna go ahead and decide to anchor off. So when we anchor off, what I'm gonna do right here is I'm going to go from the top of the mesh, from the back side through the front of it, and that next row of 10 diamonds. I'm going to go through the last bottom hole right here for this particular head, going from the inside to the outside, which isn't something that we do very often for the other interlocks. So it's pretty specific to us tying it off at the end. Same thing on the other side. So we should look like this right here. It's a pretty sidewall. And then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna tie our overhand knot. All right, and now all we are really missing is our bottom string. So tip side in first, just go in from the bottom. Now we have a couple different choices that we can do here. We can work this bottom 10 diamond row, or the same 10 diamond row that we used for our last sidewall tie off. We can work the 9 diamond row underneath it, giving us just a little bit more pocket, or we could work a 10 diamond row our next 10 diamond row, okay, underneath our elastic tie off right there, giving us even more of a pocket, giving us more of that ball carrier feel for, you know, one-handed cradles. But what we are trying to do is we want to keep this pocket up nice and high. So we are going to go ahead and tie off on the 9 row. So we're going to go through the first diamond on our 9 diamond row. We're going to carry it over to the 4th diamond, going from the back side through the front side, and then back down through our bottom hole in the throat. Then we're gonna come back up through our 3rd bottom hole, skipping that 5th one, coming up through the 6th diamond right there, and then coming all the way across and then back through our 9th diamond, which should be the last one that we have, and then finishing back through. So we should look nice and pretty like this. And then we're gonna pull down just a little bit. We're gonna test out our pocket depth. And there we go. So we will go ahead and we will tie this bad boy off. Like always, we will go ahead and we will put this one through a field test as well. And so here we go. We have a Warrior Blade OGX. We restored the sidewalls. Looks nice and pretty, super functional. And this is the importance of taking care of your mesh and taking care of your stick. So we had a saying back in the day when I was first learning how to play lacrosse, you want to treat your stick like you would treat your girlfriend, right, hypothetically, and that you wouldn't leave, you know, your girlfriend in the car overnight or in the garage or anything like that. You wouldn't leave her all smushed. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of your pocket, you're taking care of your stick. You know, the more that you take care of it, the longer that it will take care of you and the better that you will play. So, words of wisdom. Hope you have a good one.